So I'm doing a Dvar Torah on Parshat Bo. So in Parshat Bo, we read about the Jewish people and their exodus from Egypt. And Hashem promised Avram Avinu that when his great grandchildren would leave Egypt, they would leave with rechush gadol, with lots of wealth. And here we see that Hashem fulfills his promise and he tells Moshe, go and ask the Jewish people to ask their neighbors for silver and gold. And what the pasuk says is, Veishalu ish me'et re'ehu veisha me'et re'ota. Let them borrow, each man from his friend and each woman from her friend, the silver and the gold to acquire the wealth. But this pasuk is a little bit confusing because Re'ehu and Re'uta is friend. He should ask his friend, she should ask her friend, but we're talking about Egyptians. So are we saying that the Egyptians are our friends? The people that tortured us are our friends? It doesn't really make sense. So the Gaon Mavilna comes and says that there are actually two commandments that are happening here. Yes, one of them is that we should ask the Egyptians for money, but there's a commandment before this. The commandment before this is that a Jew must ask his fellow Jew for silver and gold and for money and gifts. And what is this trying to show us? This is trying to show us that only when Jews can fulfill amongst themselves the mitzvah of Ahavat Yisrael, of loving one another, then and only then will we merit respect in the eyes of the Goyim. And this can relate to us now, because nowadays we ask ourselves, why is there anti-Semitism in the world? But we have to first ask ourselves and remember, forget the Goyim hating us. Sometimes, unfortunately, there are Jews hating other Jews, and how can we expect the Goyim not to hate Jews if we have hatred within ourselves? The Beit Ish Chaim wrote that the reason that we wound up in Egypt started with the sale of Yosef. When they hated him, there was hatred amongst the Jewish people, and they took his robe and they dipped it in blood. And because of this, we wound up in Egypt. And to get out of Egypt, we had to fix that mistake, the separation and the hatred of the Jewish people. And that's why it says, ask your friend, your fellow Jewish person, make love, have Ahavat Yisrael within before you go and ask the Egyptians. Also, therefore, God commands us right before we leave Egypt to make a korban pesach, a way of bringing us together. And the pasuk says, take an agodah ezov, which is a bundle. Again, we have this idea of like a lot together, and dip it in blood. So the first time there is a dipping of hatred when Yosef's brother dipped his robe in the blood, but now there's a dipping of unity of us all together making a korban. This is the same thing as the galut that we are in now. The hatred that exists amongst the Jewish people dates back to the second Beit HaMikdash, and that's the reason for our galut, and we today still have not fixed that. We say in the Seder that not only did they try to kill us once, but in every generation, people tried to kill us, yet we stay strong. And the reason for this is our unity. And the Hatam Sofer says that when we are not united, this is the only thing that can kill us. So what we learned from Parshat Bo is that first we need Ahavat Yisrael, then we can bring Mashiach. And whatever we do in life, we should remember to keep Ahavat Yisrael. The first things first is Re'ehu, Re'ota. We should go to our fellow Jew. And yeah.